Hey, welcome back to a very special session of Run the Docs. Today, it's a little bit special because we're actually going to be going over Run the Docs on our new project that we're working on called Keyboard. So this is actually a project that was actually sort of inspired by my first video about learning how to build an MCP server that really I kept on thinking about, wow, this is really interesting technology. And I was thinking about how could we build something that really allows someone to do really anything with their Claude or their ChatGPT to actually go out and execute like any custom task. And sort of the answer we landed on is you can actually use code to automate a lot of that. So really what Keyboard is it's a system that allows something like your Claude to generate code to actually do things for you, whether that's creating a Google slide deck, a typeform survey, or even processing content. But let's just jump into it. So I think, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to jump into the quick start. So here we can sort of look at to get started with Keyboard. We're going to need Node.js, access to a Cloud desktop, and a GitHub personal access token. Now, before we can do anything, we have to fork this repo here. So here I'm going to fork this repo. And really what this is actually the environment that will actually go out and run the code generated by something like a Claude and Keyboard. So now that we forked it, we can also see that now I have to generate a PAT for GitHub code spaces here. So here I can just go back here, hit settings, hit developer settings, find our tokens. Here I can generate a new token here. Let's see. Let's set it to the right org. And permissions we need is code space, read and write, lifecycle, and metadata. Let's hit generate. And now I have this token. Now I'll probably block this out in the video. Okay, so what's next? Next, we're going to open up our Claude desktop and upload this DXT file here. So let's see, this is updated. So here I can actually just hit download. You know what? I'm just going to pause my. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I deleted anything in my file system. So now I have this new Keyboard MCT. Now, if you want to learn where to find this, you can always go into Claude here on Mac, hit settings, and go into extensions. And now you can just drag and drop. So here I can drag and drop this guy, see Keyboard local, hit install. And we're going to need a couple of things, but first thing is that GitHub PA. So here I should go back to it, copy, hit save. I actually need to run the desktop app. So here I'm just going to clone the GitHub, and then eventually we're going to assign it from Apple, or actually just wait a couple things there. Say, I think it was, we can just copy this command, just make sure I'm on the right branch. Awesome. And then we're actually just gonna, let's open up this in the code editor. And to work with Keyboard, we first have to generate some encryption keys here. So here we can just do node, generate encryption keys. Now we've got these keys, create a .env file, copy and paste this into the .env file. And we also use this library to even encrypt your .env files to protect it from like AI editors and stuff. So now you can see after I run it, it's actually encrypted as well. And here we'll just run npm install, and we'll also run npm dev. So here I can now sign in, and I think I already have an account here, and I do, and I can say, hey, I'm actually logged in, which is great. And now what I need is a WebSocket key. So here I can go into settings, copy this value, hit save, and then enable. And that's all it takes to actually set up your environment with Keyboard. Now, what does this actually mean? Is now if I go back and I say, go here, we can actually see we have a new tool available. Sometimes if you see Claude acting up, you can actually just quit it and you can just open it up And you can see now we have all these keyboard commands ready to go. And this is like a one-time installation. So let's try it. So first we need to create a code space, and it's going to actually use a keyboard to do this. So now we've created a GitHub code space that we can actually run code on, and we're the only ones that can access it because it's tied to our GitHub account. Let's just say, let's connect to the WebSocket. So this is actually, this desktop app needs to talk to Claude securely, and we're good to go. And then I could say, let's run some hello world code. So here it's going to do a plan step for creating some hello world code. And now I can run it. I can also see an explanation of what this code does. So I can decide, hey, maybe this is malicious or this doesn't do what I want. And I can add feedback and comments to say I approved it or rejected it for this reason or another. So here I'm just going to hit approve. And then I'm also going to see the result from the GitHub code space on if the code executed. So it looks like it did. So I can hit approve. And this will actually go back to Claude. So now Claude has the ability to basically execute code with a full coding environment. But how far can you actually take this? I hope you check out some of the more future content to learn more. But let's take a look. So here, let's say I want to say, you know what? Can you install Puppeteer? I think it's Puppeteer on the code space keyboard. So now we can even install libraries we might need in that environment that Claude would interact with. So here you can say it's going to actually go out and install Puppeteer, which is a service used to actually go out and interact with the internet. So here I can hit approve, and we can sort of see it was installed. And now we can say, can you use Puppeteer to fetch the design colors of this website called https docs.dev. So here we can try running it. First, before we do that, let's just make sure. So we use Puppeteer to navigate to docs.dev, extract design colors, evaluate JavaScript. Yeah, looks good to me. And remember, this is an ephemeral environment. So this is just an environment that actually doesn't really have anything on it unless you actually put stuff on it. And you can sort of see extraction, execution, fail to launch the browser. So here, this is an important distinction with keyboard, is that what's nice is that since it is an MCP server, when it runs into errors, it's going to actually go out and try and fix it. So I think we can spend maybe 12:58 here, maybe 5 more minutes before we sort of call it a day. Well, let's see if keyboard can get it. Okay, so now we have this new code, which here it looks like it's installing some libraries. What's nice is if this was my regular computer and not a GitHub code space, I would be maybe a little bit worried about it. But since this is a GitHub code space and it's just an ephemeral environment, I'm less stressed out about it. Installs the system dependencies using apt-get. Okay, let's run it. So here, gets another error. So now we're going to try it again, and I'll try this. And Puppeteer, it can be pretty complex sometimes. So again, it's just this pattern of going back and forth. And then again, not too stressed because this is just a remote, empty coding environment. And you might be thinking, oh, you should probably give up on this demo. But I have confidence that it's going to figure it out. Let's try this. And then we can actually see we actually got some pretty cool stuff. And we actually do use framers, so I think this is legit. So I'm going to hit approve here, and we can sort of get this color palette. And then we can actually determine if this is true. And it honestly looks pretty accurate. Thanks for watching. Oh, one last thing. If I don't want to go through this workflow again, we are actually working on early features to basically say, as you're probably wondering, why do you have an account? So the account actually says, can we save this as a reusable script? So the next time we want to run through this, instead of going back and forth with the code, we'll save this as a reusable tool that we can use later. And yeah, I'd say that's about it. Thanks for watching.